Ah, there you are. We've been waiting for you. It's time for Softer Side of Life. I tell you what, this is going to be an exciting one as well. So make sure you stick around for the next couple of hours. I'm really, really excited because I don't know, some of you know that I came from another channel that was talking about fabric a long, long time ago, and I absolutely love it. And I love just how interested and how dedicated people are when it comes to working with fabric. And we've got a brilliant, brilliant selection of fabrics and so many goodies. And you would not believe the price tags, by the way. But before we get into all of that, here she is, fresh from an adventurous weekend, Sarah.
Oh, yes, I have. I had the weekend off. I've spent some time with the kids. It's been lovely, but I've been ready and raring to go. So do you know, 1st of September, Derek, it is so through September because September is National Sewing Month. So this is a global thing. It's not a Crafters Companion thing. I've been involved with, I guess September National Sewing Month for many, many years now. We always do big shows on Create and Craft, on HSN, but this is the first time we have done a really big push all the way through the month here on Crafters TV. So we're going to be live every Tuesday for this 2-hour special, showing you loads and loads of sewing projects, but also we've got an extra special little giveaway every single day, haven't we, Derek?
Yes, we have. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. So we are celebrating Sew Through September. So all you need to do, and it's so easy to get this sorted in this show, let me tell you, because there are so many goodies at amazing prices. But if you spend more than £20 or $20 in our sewing category, so either if you're shopping the show with us right now, or if there's anything else fabric-wise or sewing goodies that you need right now, we will send you a free ½ meter of fabric, which is brilliant. Listen. Who hasn't got enough fabric? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's a bit of a fabric hoarder. If you love your fabric, it's hoarded everywhere, isn't it? A bit like if you're a paper crafter that your card stock is. And listen, I know this because this is my world now as well. So all you need to do is spend more than £20 or $20 and we will send you a free ½ meter of fabric. So with that in mind, Sarah, what have you got planned for us for the next couple of hours?
Oh, well, Derek, this is your first Softer Side of Life with me.
I know.
What you'll learn is I always am a little bit over-optimistic in how many projects. So whereas a lot of people would, in a 2-hour show, maybe try to get 1 or 2 projects in, I'm going to try and show you all of this, right? Are you ready? I'm going to start off, first of all, this is one of my favourite projects to do. I've done so many of these now, like little picnic baskets, right? So this is brilliant for keeping your sandwiches in, taking the kids to a picnic, whatever it is, but I'm going to use a really special product on the outside, which is called Fabricoat, because if you have a little look at this up close, you'll see this has got the finish of a proper oilcloth. So you know when you buy oilcloth fabric, Derek, it's lovely and it's waterproof.
Yeah.
But it always frustrates me that you can't get many fabrics in that waterproof finish.
No, and most of them are plain, aren't they?
They're plain and boring and everything. Whereas actually what I'm going to do is show you how you can turn any fabric that you have into an oilcloth. And then once we've created our oilcloth, I'm then going to make this little picnic bag. I keep calling it like a picnic bag. That's because we don't have many sandwiches. I always have like pasta and that for my lunch. So it's a nice little lunch bag. So that's going to be my first project.
That's so cool.
From there, are you ready? Then I'm going to do. Have you ever seen, you probably have in your many years on various different sewing shows and whatnot, but a Dresden plate done.
Oh, I love it.
I love a Dresden finish, but they are really difficult because you have to be so accurate with all of the cutting out. So we've actually got some dies that will cut you all different sizes, whether you're wanting to do a little mini Dresden like the one on the front of this bag here, or whether you're wanting to do a full size one like a cushion cover front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the cutting. I'm going to give you all my little hints and tips for getting a perfect stitch on your Dresden finish. So we're going to do the Dresden, and you'll be pleased to know that I won't get one free today.
Oh, they are. And I tell you what, that's awesome because, I mean, the value of some of those dies that we've got today is quite immense, let me tell you. Some of the dies that we've got are in the UK are $39.99 and you can get them on a buy one, get one free. It's like, whoa, companies just don't do this kind of thing. Like, it's not the end of the year. It's
We do.
Wow.
And especially in National Sewing Month.
Yes.
Okay? So after I've done my Dresden, I'm then going to do, can you see these here? I'm going to do a little bit of work with our glitter fabric paste. So we've got some amazing stencils on, and I'm also going to show you how you can get like ombre effects, multicoloured effects with our special glitters. So these are glitter pastes that will work perfectly well onto your fabrics, and these are permanent. Once you do the effect on them, they are completely permanent. So we're going to do that. Then, as if that wasn't good enough, Derek, one of my favourite products that we have is a fabulous little banner creator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a very, very special, you'll have to stay tuned with me right at the end of the show to say, I'm going to be making a very special little banner and showing how you can use our banner creator to create basically bunting for anything. And should I tell you what I'm going to do?
Go on.
I'm going to make some bunting. You know our Leanne's expecting her first granddaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, her daughter-in-law, well, her son's girlfriend is expecting their first baby. So I'm going to make something for our Leanne's little granddaughter to be. So I'm going to be making a little bunting banner for her. So literally, we have got a cram-packed show plan, Derek.
We have, and right now I just need a little show of hands right now. Now, YouTube viewers, hands in the air, please. Are you all there? Brilliant. Okay, Facebook. Are you all there?
Yes, we're here now.
Hands in the air. Brilliant. Right, okay, we're all together now. The Worldwide Network is all together. We are ready to go. Welcome to Softer Side of Life. And it's a Sarah Softer Side of Life. So it's going to be a very, very special one. Lots and lots of projects at breakneck speed. Lots of amazing deals for you as well. Let's start, shall we, with the Fabricoat, because Fabricoat is a revolution. It is just one of the most genius products you could ever wish to have in your stash. And if you haven't got it yet, we get on other channels that I work for as well, this question comes up time and time and time again. How do I waterproof fabrics? How do I do the inside of a wash bag or a cosmetic case? Or like Sarah's lunch bag there as well. How do I make that so it is wiped clean, so it's protected? And this is the secret. It is brilliant. And this is on buy one, get one free right now. All you need to do, quite simply, is to paint it on and let it dry. It really is. It sounds boring. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to paint fabric and watch it dry. That's all you need to do. And then it becomes waterproof, which is brilliant. How many times, as well, as Sarah said, when you're looking at something that is waterproofed already, a makeup bag, a cosmetic bag or whatever, they're so expensive to buy, and they might not be your taste. You might have a bit of fabric at home in your stash, like you've got lots of fabric if you've got a stash, that you absolutely love, and you think, well, if only I could waterproof that. That's what I want. I could make a matching larger cosmetic case, a smaller one. I could make one just for my toothbrush and all of those kind of things. Well, you can do it with this. It's great for making kids' aprons with as well, because you can applique their favorite character, their name onto that. You could use the glitter pastes as well on that. It's going to be brilliant. So this is buy one, get one free. So I would just snap this up as quickly as you possibly can. $14.99 and you'll get both of those, which is brilliant. There's not a limit of one per customer. So if you want 2, 3 or 4 of the bundle, every time you buy one, you'll get one free. It's as simple as that. Sarah will be talking us through that and showing us what that can do for you in that first demonstration that's coming up, actually. Now, fabric, of course, you can't have a Softer Side show without some fabric, can you? So we've got some amazing fabric bundles where you are definitely the winner. Can I just tell you straight away, just before we get into the fabrics, these fabrics are all on amazing deals and all are mostly gone. We are looking at, I think possibly, even the first 15, 20 minutes, we could be saying, there's no fabric left in the show. I'm just going to put that out there right now, because what we've done to celebrate Sew Through September is we've put bundles of fabric together where basically you're getting a ½ meter for free. So we've curated them into different kind of color families. So we'll start with the neutrals, and the neutrals are so important for backings, for details, for applique as well. They're all 100% cotton and beautifully machine washable. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your neutral bundle. They are ivory, tan, nude, chocolate and silver mink. You get 5, but you're only paying for 4 of those ½ meters at £13.96, $19.96. Now, a third of that bundle has already sold out and gone. Now, you could consider that the most, well, it's why it's called neutral. So that is the most muted of all the bundles. Let me now go to the other end of the spectrum, which is the rainbow. Now, the rainbow bundle, in my previous experience of putting any fabric shows together, your rainbow bundle will always be the first to whiz out of the door and fly away because it is brilliant. Well, in fact, there we are. I didn't know that before Johnny just told me in my ear. We are already at limited stock with this. So here is your selection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fabulous half meters of gorgeous rainbow fabrics there. So you've got the sunshine, the red, the orange, the emerald, the royal blue, and the lavender. 6 half meters, but you're only paying for 5 of them because you will get one free because, of course, it is so through September. So we put this special deal for you together for you. £17.45. $24.95. Now, instantly, by the way, if you buy one of these fabric bundles or one of these ones, if you're in the US, you are straight away going to qualify for the extra free half meter of fabric as well as part of our Sew Through September giveaway.
So we're giving them a half a metre of that and another half.
Yes. So basically, if you buy that bundle in the US, you're getting a full metre. And listen, if you're in the UK, £17.45, you top that up to £20 some way. And there's lots of very affordable ways of doing that. And you'll get an extra half metre of fabric as well. Now, bundle number 3. Love, 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 love this. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. How much of the stock, Johnny, already? Right, half of the stock. Think about how useful your greens and blues are. Well, most of us, well, more than half of us, our favourite colour is blue anyway. So we've got a nice collection of greens and 3 different shades as well. So brilliant for doing something like that Dresden that's coming up later, or doing your bigger quilt projects. And actually, if you are doing a bigger quilt project, we've got just the tool that you definitely need for that. So the colours in this bundle are marine sapphire, cotton fur, lemon, lime, chambray and chartreuse. Bless you. £17.45, $24.95. One of your half meters in that bundle is free. Remember, in the US, you're going to get, if you buy that you're in the US right now, you've gone through your $20 barrier to get another free half meter of fabric. It's ridiculous. Oh, I nearly whizzed away there. Our 4th and final bundle is also limited stock as well. I'm not at all surprised. I mean, look at that selection. We're calling it reds, but it's a nice, beautiful ombre. I mean, just think of the ombre you could create going from the lightest to the darkest there. That is absolutely beautiful. So that's 5 half meters in that one. You're only paying for 4 of them. The 5th one comes for free. And listen, if you're in the US, you need to just tip your order up by 4 cents to get another free half meter of fabric as part of our Sew Through September giveaway. So 2 of those fabric bundles are limited stock already. I need to put the brakes on this table very definitely, or I'm going to be whizzing away. Hello, 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 hello. And there's lots more in the show as well, let me tell you. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. Right, glitter pastes. Now this is brilliant. This has been a revelation to me. Do you know, Sarah, in all my years of talking fabric shows and things like that, I have never seen anything like this. So this, am I getting this right? That I can literally paint this onto fabric, heat seal it, and that's it, it's done.
That's exactly it. Wait till you see the demonstration later in the show, Derek, and you can mix those colours. So we've given you those colours there, because you've got the primaries, so you can mix them together. Now, they will work brilliantly well, either on their own, or I use them a lot through stencils.
Yes.
So we've got some stencils on the show too.
Well, I was just thinking, over the weekend, Craig did some die cutting of some letters from one of our collections. Of course, that left a waste, which technically becomes a stencil, which
Absolutely.
then I can use this to like, oh, that's opened up my world. You know, I said to you this morning, I haven't got a sewing machine yet. Whew, tell you what, that alone might be a reason for getting one. These are buy one, get, no, they're not buy one, get one free. They're buy 2, get 2 free, which is even better. So it's a half price deal there, £15.98, $19.90. In the US, if you're buying that, tip your order over $20 to get that free half meter of fabric as well. Well worth it. You'll want more than one thing in the show anyway. That's a given, I think, isn't it, really? Now, we've also got, of course, some amazing stencils in the show. Now, this is brilliant because this is a duo of mandala stencils. I love mandalas. They're so beautiful. They're so symmetrical and they're just so neat. They look instantly beautiful. Now, in each one of these packs, there are 2 stencils as well. So although we're saying duo, there's 2 in each, which is brilliant. And you're getting both of those packs there for just £10. And again, we'll see those stencils in action with Sarah later, I think, with those, because they are really, really good. Now, something else we've got something for every level to be honest, even if you don't even sew yet. If fabric scares the whatnot out of you, this show is still definitely for you. This is really, really cool, actually. This is our Bloom Builder die set, and it also comes with a charm pack. I mean, people do not give away charm packs for free, let me tell you. They just don't. It just does not happen, which we do, though, for, you know, it's great, isn't it? I love this. This is brilliant. We give away more than anything else. So all with this one you buy is your actual die, which is $14.99 or $22.95, which, remember, in the US takes you over your free half meter of fabric little threshold there. But the charm pack, there's a lot of charms in that charm pack. Is it 36? 36 5x5 square charms in there. It's beautiful fabric as well. We'll have a little flick through it later. It's brilliant. Right, now, one more to show you, and this, Sarah gave us a little sneak peek at the top of the show. This is great. This is so universal. If you want to make bunting for a party, a celebration, a new arrival, whatever it may be, this is absolutely awesome, because you get your 4 banner shapes in this as dies, and then you get a full template of alphabets, of your alphabet, so you can make any letter you like and any message you like on a banner. All the essential ingredients are in there as well, which is brilliant. Under £20, under $30 for that, and it's so versatile, because you'll be using it for years and years. So many different fabrics, so many different projects and ideas. I'm so excited for this show. I hope you are as well. Please keep in touch in the comments as well, whether you're commenting on Facebook or indeed on YouTube as well. So let's get started, Sarah. Which we're going for the lunch bag project first, are we?
Yes. If you missed us at the very start of the show, I did say the first project that I was going to share with you was this little one here. Now, I've made loads of these. I've made so many of these, I can't even remember which. It's in one of our magazines, Derek. So those of you that collect our So Inspired every quarter, I think it might have been issue 12 or issue 13. But anyway, it's been a few years now. I've made quite a few of them. And they are so much better now that you can cut. I mean, I've actually coated the inside. This is not one of mine. This is one of our samples. But when I've done them, I've now coated the inside and the outside of the lunch bag if you want. Or you could just coat the inside or just the outside. But what I will tell you is, you will go through a lot of fabric, because once you start with this, Derek, trust me, you'll be wanting to do all sorts. Like you said, if you want to do just a little toothbrush holder for while you're travelling, or if you want to do a kid's apron and do the applique and then fabric coat over the top of it, I'm going to show you how to put the fabric coat on, but you need 3 or 4 layers. This one here has had 4 layers of fabric coat to get this nice and secure like that. So if you want it really, so you can scrub it, 4 layers is going to be perfect. But a little bit of a top tip for you, Derek, is when I'm using it, I always cut my pattern out first, so that you're not wasting any fabric coating fabric that's going to be waste. So I've actually cut out the pieces for my little lunch bag, and I'm going to show you how we're going to put it on. Now, one of these jars is almost 250 grams, so it's basically 8.5 ounces. We're doing buy one. Oh, Craig, I need to get the lid off here, Derek. Buy one, get one free. If you want to buy 2 and get 2 free, or you want to buy 3 and get 3 free, please buy as many as you want. As Derek said, though, it's worth getting your order over that £20 or $20 threshold, because this is National Sewing Month. Every day in September, we're going to launch a new sewing gift. And if you spend £20 or $20 in the sewing category on the website, so it's really important, you must spend £20 or $20 on sewing products. If you do, we'll automatically add that free gift into your basket. You don't need to put any codes in or anything. You'll see it appear there. And today's is a ½ metre of fabric. So you could be getting this exact fabric that I'm using. We're just going to give you a ½ metre from our huge selection that you saw at the beginning of the show in our warehouse there. ½ metre of any one of our fabrics, all 100% cotton, right? So let's have a look. This is one of my, I happen to have some Liberty at home, because I've been making face masks for my friends, and they like the posh finish of the Liberty, you know, Derek. So I happen to have some Liberty fabric at home. Watch what I'm doing. It's a little bit like, you know, buttering your toast. Is the easiest way I can describe it. So can you see? And I'm putting it on and scraping it back off. Now, I've protected the surface with one of our craft mats, but don't, it doesn't have to be this exact one or whatever it is. This is one of our paper craft ones, okay? So all I want you to do is get this all kind of covered over. Can you see loads of this here? and I'm just going to spread it all out.
And like your toast at home, you need to go right into the corners.
Right to the corners and right up to the edges. Now, what I don't want you to do is to think, oh, well, I'll just put one big thick coat on. I'll just do one big thick coat instead of doing multiple little coats and then leave it to dry. Trust me, doing multiple little coats is much, much better. Now, I put quite a bit there on. Bear in mind, you can scoop it back into the container afterwards. So you're only going to be doing a little bit of this. Can you see? I'm just spreading that all the way over. And then whatever you don't use, just pop it back into the container there. I mean, to be honest with you, I would say if we just had these on like 15% off for a single tub, I would absolutely be saying to people, go and buy more than one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's completely and absolutely, it's one of those godsend items that you think, how on earth have I managed without
all these years without it?
Yeah, exactly. It is one of those things because you can turn any piece of fabric. And if you think about babies' bibs and things like that you want to customise.
I've done a few bibs. I've done a few bibs and they look amazing. Now look at that. I would say give that probably half an hour or something. Let that set, then you can come on with the next coat. Now obviously we haven't got a whole show for us to wait for fabric coat to dry. So what I've done to move on with the project, Derek, where have I put my, here they are, right? I've already done my 2 outer panels. If I just move this to one side, oh, don't you go flying. Right, whoa. Right, I've done. Now I did the handles and I've done, can you see that outer piece? Now, just to show you, it then just behaves like regular fabric. So if you want to iron it, just as you would iron like an oilcloth, give it a little bit of an iron from the back. And it just behaves exactly as you would like a regular oilcloth. So I'm going to get all of this nice and sorted, right? So there is my one side. Here is my other side. Now, can you see what I've done, Derek, in terms of putting the handles on? This is the bit that kind of takes time. So I thought more important for you to see the fabric coat and then also see how to put the project together. So I just did that bit already. So all I did, folded them together and made myself a little handle. And I've stitched the handles. I actually stuck them on first and then stitched them to make life easier. And I've also done a little bit of a Velcro flap down the front. And what I'm going to do, Derek, you need 2 of those, and it's all walked through in the project in the magazine. I'm going to go put right sides together, and I'm going to stitch down the 2 sides and along the bottom. Now, you won't know, Derek, this is your first sewing show with me. I don't do pins. I don't do pins.
Do you do clips?
I can.
It's so much easier, isn't it?
So much quicker without
I'm with you because, to be honest, when I do pins, and I've 1 or 2 times that I've kind of had a go, the pins have spent more time in the end of my thumb than actually in the fabric. So I just thought, well, the clips, I can't really go wrong with that. And they're so strong, aren't they?
Absolutely brilliant.
Are they on the show, Producer Johnny?
I don't know if they're on the show, but they're certainly in the website.
Go and have a little look, because remember, they will be in the sewing category, because they're very much for sewing. Although, to be honest with you can use them for 101 other things. They're really handy around the house, for like keeping receipts and stuff together, and just generally, you'll find uses for them around the house as well. So do get some.
Are you comfortable that that's where I'm going to sew? I'm going to leave this bit open. I'm going to sew down the edges and along the bottom, Derek.
Okay.
And now I don't need a special foot on the machine. I mean, to be honest, you don't need a special foot all the time. But because this is now like a Teflon coating, I would say put a Teflon foot on, which we have. If you go and have a look on the website, you'll see we do packets of feet. We have a Teflon foot. But actually, because I'm going just the Teflon's on the inside, the fabric coat, I'm just going to stitch down here, and I'm just going to literally go all the way around the outside with about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance here.
Sarah, I've just had a little thought. I might be talking out of class here, but are we going to end up with? Are you going to be complete by the end of your demonstration?
I am going to. I am not stopping, Derek, until I've finished this wonderful picnic. Little picnic basket, picnic lunchbox.
Okay, well, as you've already got one, like fully made up right next to your Gemini.
I have.
How about we offer the one that you're making right now to our friends at home? But we'll put a little condition on it.
Go on.
How about we ask them what their favourite sandwich filling would be if they were taking it out for their lunch?
Right.
And then you just comment on the Facebook page or the YouTube. And how about, like when we did the anniversary giveaways, I'll just randomly go through either Facebook or YouTube and I'll just go there and I'll pick someone to give it to, shall we?
So you're just picking a winner,
Yeah.
and all you have to do is comment. Little bit like what we all learned to do last week.
Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
got ya.
You could just say hello if you want to, but I'd be quite interested, because I'm quite nosy, about what your sandwich filling would be, or your bagel filling, or whatever it
You're
is.
full of good crack, Derek.
Oh.
That's all I can say. You're full of good crack.
I love it, and I want to say hello to everyone that's getting involved today. There are loads and loads of people with lots and lots of questions as well, which is really good.
Good. I can take questions while we're
Right.
sewing.
Okay. So, can the glitter paste be used on paper through plastic stencils?
Yes,
on
it
cardstock?
absolutely can.
Fabulous. That's good. Well, there you go, June on YouTube. And Joan says the banner dies. Can they be used with paper?
Yes, they
Yes.
absolutely can be used with paper. That would work a treat.
Fabulous. Oh, I'm liking being a little question correspondent in the corner there in
be,
my box.
you can be. It can be the sewing clinic.
The
right.
sewing, yes. Any questions you've got, just let us know.
All right, just look at me over here. Let's have
is
a-
it-
I'm just gonna wait. There we go. See if I can get you on the overhead, Derek, to while I show you the next bit.
Okie dokie.
Because I've sewn down the sides and across the bottom, and then what I want to do is for these corners here, right? What you do is, Derek, is you open this out. So you open these like this. And then you lay up those two seams together so that they match up in the middle. I'm going to hold them in place, and we're going to sew straight across that corner, right? So can you see, I'll do the same with the other side. So we've got those corners exactly as per the pattern. You just open this out, put those two seams together, and I'm going to hold that in place, and we're going to sew again, 1/4 inch seam allowance straight across that corner. Okay, so you can go back to watching me on the sewing machine now while I do this bit.
Brilliant. Okay, that's called boxing out your corners. You do it whenever you're making a handbag or any kind of bag, because of course that gives you that lovely space in the bottom of the
Yes.
bag. Just thinking about wash bags and picnic bags and things like that. Obviously, you know, when you're traveling around, and I have this as well when I'm traveling around on jobs, because I have to wear makeup for telly, which is unusual for a man. But I find that my makeup bags, because I don't keep them in nice order, everything just goes in there. But because the lining's so dark, I'm like, oh, where is that brush? Where do you have to fish and faddle around? And actually, if you had a lighter coloured lining, like anything, like I know ladies say with handbags as well, don't give me a handbag with a black lining. For heaven's sake, can't find anything that's in there. It's like just like a black void. Let me ask some more questions. Flick3 Red, I can answer your question. It's not 20. It's not £20 of free fabric. It's spend £20 and get free fabric. That's how it works. So if you spend £20 or $20 in our sewing category, so shop the show and anything else that's in our sewing category, you'll then get that free 1/2 metre of fabric as today's Sew Through September giveaway, which is rather cool, isn't it?
You could be getting this fabric. You could be getting any fabric out of our warehouse. Now, can you see what I've done there, Derek? So there's those boxed off corners that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Now, to put the lining in, by the way, I've just done exactly the same, but with the lining. So I just chose a different fabric. This could be another one that you're getting, right? And I've done exactly the same. I've boxed off those corners, but I've left a big gap in the middle, right? Because we're going to turn the whole thing through. Now, everybody has their own way of doing this. I like to, if I just take these and just pin down my bottoms here, keep them out the way.
Yeah, so you don't sew them to the bag.
So I don't sew them in. What I'm going to do is, you must put the right sides together. I personally like to have the lining on the outside. I find it easier to turn in.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing is I'm going to line up the seams on the lining there, and I'm just going to hold them in place with a little bit of with a little clip here on both sides. So I'm going to do both sides there, put them in place with a little clip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this in place. So I can take the middle part here, and I'm just going to hold this here, and we're going to sew basically all the way around the outside. So as long as everyone can see what I'm doing, I'm happy for you to kind of like ask questions, update, whatever it is you need to do. I'm going to go and sew right round.
And actually, it's good to watch this part of what Sarah's doing, actually, because bagging out, as it's called, is one of those things that makes people run for the hills sometimes, but it really should not be that intimidating. All you need to do is just make sure that you've got your seams anchored at either end, and probably a point in the middle as well, and the sewing machine will literally do the rest for you like a dream. And listen, I speak as someone who's never made a bag, but look, you can see it coming together right now, which is brilliant. Anne says, should you wash the fabric before you use the fabric coat?
You don't need to.
I don't think you would need to.
I haven't. I can see why you might think that, but no, it's still going to work fine. You don't need to.
I think it might be easier, to be honest, if you're fabric coating, because you're adding stability anyway, it'd probably be better if you didn't, because you're unlikely to wash that item anyway.
Yes.
So you wouldn't get that shrink back anyway. You can do if you want to, but if it's a more stable fabric, which you're adding more stability to, then actually you're probably better off not, because you'll keep that wonderful, you know, the first look of a fabric before it's even been washed. It has that slightly more intense kind of, you know, when you first buy something in the shops and the first time you wear it, you think, I absolutely love the way this looks. And then you, after a couple of washes, you think, oh, I don't quite love you quite. So your the collars don't quite sit the same way as they did the first time, and all of that kind of thing. It's the same kind of thing when you buy new fabric. So actually, if you want to keep that vivacity and the intensity of the colour of the fabric, I would say no, just go straight on with your fabric coat and go for it. Which is, yeah. If I've purchased bibs, can I still put this waterproof onto them? Yeah,
Ooh,
Evelyn, I don't see any reason why not.
Brilliant
You
point.
can fabricate anyway. I could fabricate myself into this jumper right now. Just get the spatula out. I could just do it straight away. There'd be no reason for me to do it. I'm not a messy eater, but I've not needed a bib for years. But you know what? I could if need be. But you can basically anything that's fabric. You can fabricate, Sarah, can't you?
Absolutely, and any types of fabric. So quite often, what I've done, you know, I was saying here, this is a Liberty fabric. Now, I don't think I've seen any Liberty fabrics in an oilcloth finish.
No, I don't think they do them, do they? I think they only do the finer things in life, don't they?
But I'm thinking, even if they did, you can bet your life it would never be the one that you wanted.
No.
You know, it would never be the one you were after.
No.
And I know, because I've bought quite a lot of oilcloth in the past. I've done quite a few projects. I was doing one just the other day. My mother-in-law, I wonder if she's watching actually. You'll have to let us know, Val. They've got the kids for me today, so don't start back at school until Thursday. My mother-in-law got a new chair for the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And so I said, oh yes, I'll just do you a nice, I'll cover the nice bit of cushion for the bottom. Slightly more advanced project than I think I'd envisaged when I offered to do it, Derek. However, it did look lovely, but it's a fortune oilcloth, whereas this way you can turn any fabric you want, including your free ½ metre that you're going to be getting, into oilcloth.
Do you know what? You've just made one of the most incredible points there as well. I hadn't even thought about this. You think about furniture that you leave outside in the summer, in the so-called summers that we get, where one day it's 36 in the shade, and the next day you think, oh, hang on a second. Make sure the water butts are ready because there's an incoming shower. Actually, you could fabricate, if you've got cushion covers, you know, the ones that you buy very inexpensively, actually, the ones that you buy, you can just go over them with Fabricoat and protect them and give them a longer life as well.
You know what I've just thought, Derek?
Go on.
So you know I've said I'm going to do Leanne's granddaughter, the little banner, as my next project.
Oh, yeah.
We could fabricate the banner after we finish it.
Yes, of course you could.
And this is the thing, you could literally fabricate over top of anything. Either part way through the project, or as I did here, do all of your cutting out. I mean, this is brilliant because this little project is what? A ½ an hour project. And then if you do your fabric coating the day before, I mean, the fabric coating the day before might take 20 minutes or something, over obviously multiple sittings.
Yeah.
And then look at that, I've done that. Now it does need top stitching, and I will top stitch it before we send it to whoever. But basically, can you see what you do is that folds over like that, and then that's going to come down. Now once it's got your sandwiches in, you see, it's going to look. Do you want me to pretend that we've got some sandwiches? Look, I'll take my pretend sandwiches out of this bag and put my pretend sandwiches in the new bag that we've just made. Oh, I do love it with that fabric. There we go. So it's got them lovely sandwiches inside, and then all we're going to do is we're going to fold this in, fold this over, and then you can just seal that down there. So this is now on display, Derek, for someone to win.
Awesome.
So let me get this right, because you made the rules up as we were in the show. All you have to do is comment either on YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
And Derek's going to choose one of your comments at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That person's going to win this bag. And the more times you comment, the more likely he is to spot your comment and pick you to win.
Yeah. And listen, you can say anything. I'm just being nosy about the sandwich filling ideas because I'm literally I'm not gonna stop at a sandwich filling idea. I'm just gonna go scroll and then stop, like pin the tail on the donkey, and it will be that person. So that is going to be absolutely brilliant. Now, I've got some stock updates for you. My fabric, you know this is a fabric show, right? Well, that fabric has sold out, and that fabric has sold out, and that fabric has sold out, and that fabric has sold out. So I'm afraid all 4 of our fabric bundles are sold out and gone. And let me tell you, our fabric, for 1 or 2 technical reasons that I won't go into right now, hot-footed its way a little last minute to the show. So Jake, who is one of our magic beavers in the background here, was ironing away like video to get it all beautifully ironed so we could display it out on the desk for you, and we needed it for about 10 minutes in the end. So, but there you go. You never know your luck in a raffle, I think is the phrase. Right, let me talk to you now about Bloom Builder, because this is absolutely cool. So cool. Now this is the one where we get the charm pack along for the ride as well, isn't it? This is so cool. So this is a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual dies, which will cut. Oh my gosh, I hadn't realized this. Right, so they're much deeper than traditional dies. If I show you the layout of the dies there, you can see how it kind of works to build up the flower and the floral images. But get this, because they are deeper than traditional dies, these will cut up to 6 layers of cotton in one pass. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let me show you. So there are the individual die elements. So some will cut the top and some will cut the center, and that's how they all come together. But hang on a moment, because that on its own is $14.99. So that's all you should get for your $14.99. But come on, it's National Sewing Month. It's Sew Through September. We're celebrating. So we're going to send you this 36-piece 5-inch charm pack. Oh, everyone who works on the floor in any channel I work on hates me for doing this, but I'm going to get the charm pack out. Of course, well, no, I want to see what I'm buying. Well, I'm not buying. I want to see what I'm getting for free. So I'll just flick through some of the selection that you get. It's a 5. I'll put it all back together, don't you worry. I'm very good like that, very tidy. But look at that, 36 5-inch charms, which are going to be perfect for, well, you know, the project for the dies, or anything else that you fancy doing. Do you know what I mean? Having your fabric already cut up into neat 5-inch squares. So if you want to make little half square triangles, you want to make a quilt block, you know, of your choice, you want to just do a bit of patchworking, this is absolutely phenomenal. And this charm pack you are getting for free. That's normally $8.99 on its own, but today you will get it free when you buy the dies. Now, you know how versatile floral dies are. I mean, you can imagine that right now, just a plain cushion, just do those. Get yourself almost like a matten layer that we talk about in card projects. So a matten layer of fabric this time it would be, and your florals on top, and you're away. A little bit of hand applique maybe, a bit of hand embroidery maybe. That would be absolutely brilliant. £14.99 or $22.95. Now in the US, that takes you straight over the threshold of $20, which gets you in today's show a free ½ meter of fabric. Any of the fabrics that you've seen with Sarah, it might be one of these, although our show bundles have sold out, so it could be any of our gorgeous and glorious fabrics. I think this is brilliant. Now, the other thing that we have in the show, oh, this is awesome. I mean, this is just so awesome. This is one of those things that actually, as a business, you should really sort of break down and do individually. But being Sarah, being Crafter's Companion, being the amazing things that we do here, what you've got in here is your ability to build a banner, as it says. So you've got, obviously, your banner die, which is in here, plus you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different banner bottom shapes. So you can have more like a sort of pendant one there, like a flag bottom. You've got a rounded one there, sort of a scalloped one. You've got one that goes into a point, and you've got one which is like an arched window upside down. Now, if that's all you got for your $19.99, I'd be very, very happy for you, bearing in mind that these dies can cut through multiple layers of fabric at the same time. So you can very easily make lots and lots of different banners at the same time. But this also comes with the templates for your full alphabet as well. So all the letters A through to Z. So you can have them all absolutely matching, which you would want for a banner to celebrate something, wouldn't you? It's $19.99 in the UK, $27.96. It's absolutely awesome. And look at what it can do with Sarah, look.
How cute's this one?
It's brilliant.
So this was made by Stephen, and I'm going to make a whole banner for you, right? So I'm going to show you right from the beginning how to do it. But as Derek was saying, they all have these different bottoms on. So can you see, if you look at these dies, you see you either have the point, you have this kind of scallop one, you have the traditional flag bottom, or you have a rounded bottom, which is what I'm going to use. But don't they look absolutely fabulous? And then this is lovely because the alphabet letters have been cut out, and then just one of the fancy stitches that we've got on the machine to make them look wonderful. Now, are you ready, Derek? I'm going to start right at the beginning.
I'm really excited by this because I think this is brilliant, even for anyone who thinks, oh no, I'm not sure if sewing's for me. When you do a project like this, you've got your Gemini already, so you may as well just go for it.
Just go for it. So here's what you're going to do. You see, this is going to cut out each one of the banner pieces. What you call them? Like the bunting strips or whatever. Panels. There you go. And then these are the bottoms. So what we're going to do first of all, I've just got some fabrics here. And let's have a look. How many layers am I going through here? 1, 2, 3, 4... Is that 4 layers is going to be no problem.
Sorry,
right?
We don't need a sewing machine actually for this, do we? We could hand sew all of this.
You could just hand sew all of it if you wanted. Absolutely.
Could, yeah.
So let's have a look. I'm going to pop this on. Now a little bit of a tip, when you're going in the Gemini, just slightly offset it a little bit like that, right? I'm going to go with the clear, then I'm going to go with the top plate. And then we are ready to go into the Gemini. Now, for anyone, it's exactly the same Gemini that we use for cutting fabric as what it is that we use for cutting all of our papercraft projects. Exactly the same. You just, all of the fabric dies, Derek, they're a little bit thicker, as you were saying. So they're designed to cut up to 8 layers of fabric, which means you don't use your magnetic. So if you saw, all I did, I used the metal plate so that you get a nice sharp cut, but I just used the clear cutting plate here, all right? So here we go. So that's cut. I think it's more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers all in one go.
Wow.
So what, you take that one off and then you decide what edge we're going to have. So I'm just going to go with a nice rounded edge.
Can I just jump in just very, very quickly to say that if you compare the amount of time, it's 16 seconds, isn't it, to go through the Gemini once?
Yep.
If you can compare that to cutting that shape out, doing all the measuring and all the faffing and everything else, and then you know, with your rotary cutter, and am I at the right place? And if you want to use different fabrics, I'll have to cut them all out separately or whatever, compared to your 16 seconds.
16 seconds. Honestly, I remember when John used to come on a Tuesday morning, I don't think he'd done a lot of die cutting in the past, and he could never believe how revolutionary it was. In the end, he bought himself one. I think he needed to see it every week for a little bit first, and then he just was like, I'm caving, I'm buying one.
Yeah.
So watch this, it's cut all them 6 layers, tiny little bit of waste, that's ready just for the bin there. By the way, this is perfectly normal that you will get these little divots in your metal plate. All I would say is try and remember, like I didn't, to turn and rotate your metal plate every time you use it, okay? So look at this here, this is going to make, so I'm going to double them over, so this is going to make 3 bunting all in one go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these, move that iron so I don't burn myself, and I'm just going to sew all the way around these 2 sides. Now, I'm just going to clip it, but I'm going to leave it exactly as it was when I took it out because they're already stuck together.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a tip, Derek, make sure I'm going to start a little way in and I'm just going to back stitch around the edge.
Yeah.
And I've got my stitch width set so that edge of foot is 1/4 inch for me, all right?
Perfect.
Just because I find I'm not the best at working out what 1/4 inch is all the time. So I find if I do it to edge of foot, it just makes my life a little bit easier. So because this is the computerized machine I'm on, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of keeping the edge of the foot up to there, and I've got it set, my stitch width at 5.5. So that is one little tip that our Stephanie in the office gave me. She said it's much easier if I can't always work out what 1/4 inch is straight there, just go edge of foot. Look at that, I've gone right round the corner and managed to keep all the way up.
And to be honest, just so you can go around the rest of it, whilst not talking at the same time, bunting and banners, they are very forgiving. So actually you don't need to be too worried about, you know, obviously Sarah's using a contrasting thread there so you can see what's going on the telly. You might want to match your thread to your fabric as well.
Yes, I would do that at
You might
home.
want to completely mismatch it, to be honest.
Yeah.
You also might want to use a variegated thread so it changes colour as it goes right the way round. You might always also use a decorative stitch, you know, one of those scallop stitches or those fancy stitches on the machine, the way you don't use them very often. You might want to do that. I'll just answer a question quickly, if I may, Sarah.
Go on, yep.
Sarah, I always get Sarah and Sarah the wrong way around, but it is Sarah on Facebook, says, how big are the banner dies? They are 4 1/4 inches wide, so the main panel is 4 1/4 inches wide by 6 inches, and the letters are a 3-inch height. So I hope that helps.
Brilliant. Actually, I'm ready. I'm at me ready for my letter stage now. So can you see I've made that ready? You can see how it's a tiny little bit smaller when we've done that, right? I'm not going to make 3 of these. I'm just going to make a couple so that you can see. But what I'm going to do now is take the letters. So the letters are all going to be stuck on here ready. And I'm just going to, now Leanne's granddaughter, they already know what they're going to call her, which I think is fantastic for them to tell everybody, because then you can actually make things, right? So she's going to be called Ada, which is lucky for me that it's a nice short name.
What a lovely name.
So I've got the A, and can you see the letters are just designed to be a nice length. Now I've got a couple of those charm packs that so this is the charm pack that comes included with the Bloom Builder. I'm going to do some work with the Bloom Builder next, but I've just taken a couple of these, and what I've done is I've actually already done this one because I've done a couple of the letters already. Can you see I've just put a bit of heat and bond on the back, Derek, and then drawn round the letter. So I'm just going to cut around the letter, and then I'm going to go on and we'll stick it onto the fabric. So that heat and bond just makes it a little bit easier. And if you want to do your top stitching or whatever thereafter, you can. But I was going to be a little bit lazy and not top stitch it.
And you can vary what you do on these. I mean, you can take it as many different directions as you want to. PA on YouTube has asked an interesting question. Saying, can the Fabricoat be used on paper to waterproof paper or card? Now, my first instinct would be one coat might do it. More than one coat might end up peeling off, I think, because it would almost be like a gluey kind of finish. It might go wavy and bumpy because obviously the moisture in it would absorb into the fibres of the paper. So I'm not sure. I think actually laminating would be your best bet for that kind of thing, wouldn't it, Sarah?
I think you're right, Derek. I would definitely say go and laminate it.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a genius product. It's really good.
Designed for fabric.
It is. It is absolutely, because so many people who work with fabric were like, right, okay, I see those wash bags and those things. How do I do that?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Well, this is the product that you need. I will try and get to it again a little bit later in the show to show you a few more techniques with it. But I'm going to take this here, and I'm literally just going to give that a little bit of an iron over the top, right? So there's our lovely A. And what I've done is I've done Ada. So I've got A, D and A. But then what I thought we could do is, because I've got another blank one here ready to decorate, what I thought we'd do is do one of these little bloom builders. I'll show you how to do the bloom building on there as well.
Definitely.
Right? Look at that. If I'd done another M on the end, I could have done one for our director, Adam. I'm not sure of Pink's colour, but you never know. We could ask him, all right? So, apparently only on Wednesdays. So, no good today.
Yeah, not today.
Today. So, these bloom builders, by the way, loads of different ways you can construct the flowers. So, can you see all these little individual pieces and all the different ways you can put them together? Loads of ideas. If you go on the website, you'll see loads of them. What I've done is a couple of these bits of fabric. So bear in mind, this is the freebie that comes with it. So you pay $14.99 for the Bloom Builder, and you're getting the charm pack that Derek showed you earlier, absolutely free. I've just put the heat and bond on the back again for speed. And let's have a little look. I'm going to have one of these flowers, right? I'm going to have a nice flower head. I think I might do that out of the darker fabric. Yep. And then I'm also going to have, let's have a look. I'm going to need a stalk. And then I'm going to need a couple of these. So you've got different leaves. I'm going to use a couple of these leaves. So let's have a little look. Can I fit 2 of these onto here? If I fold that over, yes, I can fit 2 of these onto here. And then I'm going to just go with one of those and then also just one of these little ones on here as well, Derek, right?
Superb. It's so flexible, this, isn't it? Lots of you taking advantage of, and remember, just in case you weren't with us at the top of the show, if you spend more than £20 or $20 either shopping the show today or anything else in our sewing category on our website, then we'll send you a free half metre of fabric, because we've got something going on called Sew Through September, because it's National Sewing Month. Or World Sewing Month, in fact, isn't it? Well, we'll make it World Sewing Month, even if it isn't. I don't mind. It's brilliant.
National World Sewing Month. I'll take that, Derek.
Yeah.
It's not, what it's important to know is it's not just a Crafters Companion thing. It is literally all over everywhere. Everyone's celebrating National Sewing Month.
So that means that we're going to send you, if you spend more than £20 or $20, throughout the whole month of September, in fact, we're going to have a different giveaway every single day, I believe, and today's is a free half metre of fabric, which is brilliant. And if you were lucky enough to get our fabric bundles earlier, there was a free half metre with all of those already.
It's like freebie central, but it is National Sewing Month, so it is freebie central. We can't do this sort of stuff all the time. But, it's a nice way. I'm hoping we get lots of new people. In fact, you let us know in the comments if you're someone who is maybe new to sewing or just taken up sewing, please tell us. Because I love it when we hear about new people getting into any sort of craft. But I think one thing that I have learned is during lockdown, we've had loads of people, let's have a look, I've got these stuck together, Derek. We've had loads of people take up sewing and do this kind of sewing journey with us. I did a little bit of sewing before, but nothing to the extent that I do now. Yeah. So if that was you as well, then let us know, and let us know if we're kind of in this together, as it was.
Yeah, well, I've made no secret of this. I had no idea I was coming to Crafters Companion, and at the time of year, with everything going on in the world and blah, 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 and I never, ever, ever saw myself crafting, and I have crafting all around me in my life. I've got a partner who's very, very artistic. My mum crafts like Billy-O. She's got the 17 pairs of scissors. She's got the Gemini and stacks of paper. And
I bet your mum's thrilled at how much you've got into this.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And I never expected to. And it's wonderful because it's given me something. It's not just about being here. I haven't just gone, right, okay, well, I'm going to work for them, so I better do some crafting. It's not that at all. I am absolutely loving it. Did you see my homework that I gave to Debbie Robinson, Sarah?
I was very impressed at your homework. I only saw the picture. I haven't seen it in real life, but I've been very impressed.
I honestly, and I loved the journey. And it's the journey, Sarah, isn't it? I always had in my head as a boy, it was about the end result. It was like the shiny car in the garage kind of situation. No, it isn't. It's what it gives you on the journey, isn't it? It's the things that go wrong that are as good as the things that go right, I think.
Yes. Do you know, I couldn't agree with that more, Derek. And like I said, I'm not the world's best sewer, but I've kind of been under pressure. Once we got into lockdown, you see, there was only a couple of us who were able to come into the studio and do the shows.
Yeah.
So I had to really up my game and do a lot of sewing over the last 5 months, I think, as it was. And I think it's been having that push and that challenge, and also the time to sew. So I've done, because you've got to remember, for every hour that we're in front of you live here, there's at least a couple of hours of work in the background getting everything ready.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing loads of sewing at home. I've had the sewing machine out at home. I've also been making loads of masks for friends and family. Believe it or not, because we were doing kits of masks, I had girls in the office buying the kits and then saying to me, Sarah, will you take that home and stitch that up for me? And you'd have like 6 masks, so that would be like an evening's kind of homework for me, as it was.
Well, that's because you did it on the telly, you see. You showed them you could do it and they all went, oh, well, now she knows.
Now she knows she can be the sewing one.
I'll buy the kit and pass it that way.
Oh, I've had them to do for loads of friends. I've had all the family have wanted them doing everything. But how lovely that people have now got like homemade things on that I've made them.
Yeah.
I've made loads of little projects for my niece because she just turned 1 recently. I've done loads of projects, basically for loads of people in the family. And I just think how lovely that, for someone like me who definitely didn't consider myself to be by any stretch of the imagination like an advanced sewer. Well, never mind advanced. Just a sewer in general. Well, if someone asked, I would never have said I was a sewer. Just because I enjoyed doing it, I didn't think I was good enough to say that I actually officially did that as a hobby.
Do it, yeah.
And here I am live on air stitching up some bunting.
Exactly. Well, do you know what? This year, I think it's shown what has happened this year. I think has shown us all how much we've stopped, how much we've taken for granted in our lives. We just go out, we buy, you know, whatever we see, we buy. We don't really think about it. And actually, lockdown really focused our minds, didn't it, on the things that actually, the time we should spend actually on ourselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just you and the fabric, or you and the card making, or you and the crafting, or whatever.
Do you
the
know,
time
Derek,
you need.
There's been a worldwide shortage of sewing machines since lockdown started.
I'm not surprised at all.
You've not been able to. The two things have been bikes, so people who've got into cycling, and sewing machines have been the two things that manufacturers have not been able to keep up with. We haven't, even with our own, you know, we've been out of stock of some of our sewing machines for ages, like the Stitch Pro here. But it's so nice. I think everybody's got an old sewing machine. I mean, for me, I had a really old one that my Auntie Margaret handed down to me. And that's what got me into sewing until I got our Gemini Stitch. I still don't have one of these Stitch Pros at home. I've just got the regular Gemini Stitch and the overlocker. Oh, we were on with the overlocker last week.
Overlockers.
That changed my life when I started doing some overlocking.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
Oh yes, it was literally game changing in a sewing capacity.
Yeah.
So
an overlocker. If you haven't yet got an overlocker, I mean, if you sew and you've always resisted an overlocker because they've been thousands of pounds in the past, it's like who can go there financially, but
not with us.
Oh, look at that!
Isn't Leanne going to be absolutely thrilled?
So cute.
I've got loads planned that I'm going to make for her granddaughter. When I had our Oliver, she knitted me this gorgeous little bunny, and then she did me a quilt as well for me. It's all stuff that we will treasure and that will be in our family forever. And I just hope, I've got a list of things that I want to make for her granddaughter. I don't know if a son and a daughter-in-law it'll mean as much to them, but I know it'll mean the world to Leah. And actually, I look at all the hand sewn and the hand knitted stuff that the kids in our family have just means so much. But I mean, this to me, I've seen a lot of bunting in the past, Derek, but look how professional all of this looks, right? So look, the beautiful finish on it, the way the letters are perfect. I mean, that literally looks perfect. There's making homemade bunting and there's making homemade bunting. And do you know what the difference is? You want something that looks handmade.
Yes.
Not homemade. You want the handmade look. This is the sort of thing you would see on Etsy, someone charging a fortune for personalised.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same. It's normally something you'd have to commission somebody to do, and they would charge you by the letter or the character or whatever, and they do exactly what Sarah had just done there. That you could do.
And
that's the thing.
It's
bonkers.
Those of you that are making and selling, you are absolutely welcome to use any of our products to make and sell. So you could be one of them people with an Etsy store. You could be putting this as your photograph and charging however much per letter, having a small business out of this. That's the other thing. A lot of people have taken up craft, turned their hobby into a business because it's so easy to start selling online these days, whether it's, you know, just on Instagram or Etsy or Pinterest or Facebook or whatever it is. How fabulous. This is the handmade look that everyone's after. So get that for the sake of $19.99 or $27.96. Get that. That is literally a starting point to make some really professional looking banners.
And listen, of course, you know, when your crafting business gets to that certain level, there's some advice here in the room in a different capacity as well to get you to the next step, remember. But Sarah made a brilliant point there. I mean, you know, someone that you commission online to make you a banner, the likes of which Sarah just made there, they'll do the same thing as you can do right now, is to buy a die set like this at $19.99. And then if they're able online to be able to charge per letter, like £3 or £4 per letter for your banner, then happy days. How quickly has that paid for itself? Now, a third of the stock of the Builder Banner dies has already sold out and gone. Just to repeat the sizes as well, by the way, the main banner panel, that's before you use the bottom edging there, which you've got 4 different bottom edges there for your banners, is 4¼ by 6 inches. That's the size of the die. And then the letters, of which you get templates for every letter of the alphabet, they are 3 inches high. I mean, it's so versatile, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. £19.99. $27.96. If you're in the UK, by the way, up your order by a penny to get that free ½ metre of fabric. It's a penny more, for heaven's sake. You definitely want to do it if you could. If you're in the US, you're already crossing the threshold. The Builder Bloom, that's very, very popular. Really, really popular. I'm not surprised at all, because the Builder Bloom is your 7 dies to make up that lovely, there's 2 different flowers there, so you can hook out the leaves, the stems, the flower heads as well, in any way you want to. Now that die, because it's a multimedia die, of course, will go through at least 6 layers of fabric at the same time, which is amazing. So 6 layers of cotton at the same time, brilliant. 7 individual dies in there, that's $14.99 on its own. It's $14.99 today as well, but it comes with a little bit of a bonus as well. I say a little bit, that's 36 individual 5-inch charms there of all gorgeous fabric. As you can see, Sarah was just using that fabric to make her Ada banner there. I was just thinking, for comedy purposes only, I wonder whether Ada will end up cross-stitching. Because you know your background fabric that you cross-stitch into is called Ada, isn't it?
It is.
I wonder. £14.99, $22.95. Now, this is brilliant. I can't believe we've taken this long to get to this part of the show, because we have got your brilliant patchwork dies, of which we've got a selection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can only show you 6 because Sarah's got the Dresden, which is the one that's on the cushion behind her. But look, these are on a buy one get one free, and they vary in price as well. So the Apple Core one, $24.99, but it's on a buy one get one free, or $32.95. Absolutely phenomenal. This is the kind of thing it can do. I'll show you, there's a larger image on the back there. It's absolutely brilliant. Again, that can build up into a nice, beautiful quilt very, very easily. So that's one of them. We will move next onto what's called the tumbler. I love this. I think it's brilliant. And look, it can create almost that kind of cotton reel kind of block on your quilting projects, but very, very handy, full stop, let me tell you. $24.99 or $43.95. Next one we've got is this one, which is, what do we call you? Orange peel. Orange peel. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now this is wonderful. Orange peel, so versatile for making this kind of really nice sort of symmetrical pattern. You can use it as borders in your quilts, and lots and lots of different ways. $24.99 in the UK, $32.95 in the US. Remember, these are buy one, get one free, so you can choose any two. You can have two the same if you want to, and get them buy one, get one free if you want to. This one is your clamshell. Such a lovely, lovely shape to work with. And if I just show you on the back there, you can see on that cushion, it creates that lovely, it can be waves on the sea, it can be just this lovely sort of scalloped pattern. It's an amazing background as well for a quilt or a cushion as well. That one's $39.99 or $39.95. That's still on buy one, get one free as well, by the way. And remember, these are all multimedia, so they're gonna go through, 6 layers of fabric at the same time, which is really, really good. You've got your elongated hexagon. Well, hexagons are one of the biggest, I would say one of the biggest shapes used in quilting. I say quilting, patchworking as well. Of course, that's what they are, patchwork dies. So if you really want one of those quilts that has that really sort of authentic homemade look. In fact, a lot of people make kind of memory quilts out of hexagon shapes like this as well. $39.99 or $39.95. And the final one we've got here is your jewel, which is wonderful, like a kind of diamond shape. I love this. It's a really, really lovely shape. And of course, because those shapes tessellate so beautifully, there's lots and lots of different things you can do with the different sizes as well. I don't know if you can see clearly that image there of that cushion on the back, but that's actually using the multiple sizes of that jewel. So, you know, you only need a few of these, like together. I mean, they're buy one, get one free. And there is the Dresden one as well, but Sarah's got the Dresden one. And that's the one that I think as well, lots of people are intimidated by the word Dresden, but actually when you see that it's a simple die and it's a simple repeat of the fabrics, you can literally take 5 fabrics and just go fabric 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look with Sarah, look, it's so beautiful, isn't it, the Dresden?
It's fabulous, and I will show you, this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to show you how to do that a little bit later in the show. We absolutely will get to that. I'll show you the picture of the die. I know I've got the die over here, but we've got a nice still we can show you, Derek, so that you can see.
Oh, there it is.
The great thing is it does it in different sizes.
Yes.
So that's the beauty. We're going to be able to do it in different sizes. I'll show you with the largest one, just so it's easier for the camera to see. But yeah, that is also included on the buy one, get one free.
Quick question, Sarah, for you as well, and
yes.
I know this comes up quite a lot. and I want to know just as much as well, but can you use your regular dies to cut through fabric?
You can. So a regular die will cut through 1 or 2 layers of fabric.
Yeah.
A multimedia die will cut through up to 8 layers, sometimes a little bit more of fabric as well. So all of the ones that we do for our sewing projects, we just naturally make them thicker so that you can cut through 6, 8, potentially more layers of fabric. But if you wanted to use some of your pretty dies, what I would say is stabilise the fabric first. So our designs, like you just saw that one I was doing, I'll get my aider up, right? This here, these are nice simple designs that are designed to give less fraying when it cuts the edges, okay? But if you're going to put, like I did, the heat and bond on the end, or if you're going to stabilise your fabric, you can use any fabric, any dies to cut your fabrics, no problem.
Fabulous. Thank you very much. Someone's asking for an overlocker masterclass as well, by the way. Maureen on YouTube, she wants an overlocker masterclass at some stage.
Maureen, if you go and have a look, we've got a whole, basically like a DVD's worth of tutorials all on YouTube. So you can go and watch, even though I haven't done a show, you can go and watch all of those step-by-steps, how to thread it up, all the basic stitches. We actually have a DVD that goes with it as well, if you have a look on the website. So we've got all of that education there, so you can have a good look through that too, if that helps.
And by the way, we've got lots and lots of tools on the show. We're going to demonstrate some of them later. But for instance, there's a folding quilting ruler, which is so handy, because I think sometimes quilting rulers can be very, very big and take up a lot of space. So if it can fold down nice and small, happy days. Also, if you want a rotary cutter, you can have a little baby 28mm or a big daddy 60mm rotary cutter. Now that means business. But if you're doing big strips, in fact, with the tool that we've got coming up later is a big tool for cutting strips and shapes. It's a shape cutter, which we'll show you later in the show. But actually the 60mm rotary cutter would go really, really nicely with that. The only reason I'm flashing those things at you is if you spend more than £20 or $20 in the sewing category today, you're going to get that bonus ½ metre of fabric for free. And the deals are so good. Now, this is something I can't wait to see in action. I'm going to be all eyes for this next demonstration where we go in with your glitter pastes. These are just brilliant. I mean, I love them. I have never, ever seen this before. These beautiful goodies here, you literally use through a stencil onto your fabric. You heat set it, just use a little bit of parchment or greaseproof paper or freezer paper if you've got it at home, and just to heat set it, and that's it, it's there. Now you know that you can make stencils out of anything that you die cut, yes? That means that your glitter paste can go through that. But also, you want to have a first go with a big grand stencil as well. So we've got stencils on the show. Now, these are half price. So basically, you buy 2, you get the other 2 free. So you've got your red, you've got your rustic copper, you've got your emerald green, and your blue azurite. What a lovely word. And aren't they glittering colours as well? Aren't they vibrant colours? And I didn't realise this, but Sarah let us in on the secret that you can mix those colours and make other colours as well, which is even better. £15.98. A third of the stock has already sold out on the show. I'm not surprised. Now, let's talk stencils. Oh, I love these. Oh, I love these. I love these so much. Stencils are so universal. I mean, use them with your glitter paste, use them with your multimedia paste in your card making as well. I mean, they're just a crafting all-rounder. But the mandala, I mean, I just love them. I think they're absolutely brilliant. You get 2 in each pack, and you're getting 2 packs as well. So let me do it that way around. So they are the 4 mandala designs that you are getting. But you're getting them both for £10 or $13.50, which is brilliant. The only thing you're going to, I mean, I know you'll do all 4 eventually, but you're just going to be like, which one will I start? I'll get that glitter paste straight out, and I want to start. So, Sarah, over to you, because honestly, I'm all ears.
Right, come on then. I've got my work surface prepped. What I've done, Derek, is I've put down one of those protective sheets that we have. So these are our Spectrum Noir ones on the website, not to be confused with the ironing sheets that we have. They're the same colour, slightly different material, okay? So you need the base down there, and all I've done is I've just cut some pieces of fabric. I've just been ironing them ready, Derek, and I've just done it basically to be able to demonstrate for you, okay? Now, let's have a little look. You've got all these different designs. I quite like this one here. It's a nice big opening. open one. Now, they're lovely for quilt blocks. They're lovely if you're wanting to do like cushion covers with them. What I would say is you want to hold it in place while you're working with it. So if you use a little bit of our stick and spray, we've got all these sprays on the website. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this around and kind of spray away from myself. Can you see? Just so that I don't get spray all over the counter. So I'm just putting a little bit of spray on there. Notice I'm not going all over. I'm just doing short, sharp bursts. Short, sharp bursts is perfect. Give it about 30 seconds for all the propellant in the can to evaporate, and then place the stencil down wherever it is you're wanting to work from. All right, so I'm going to work from there. Now you can see that pattern. I'm going to start first of all with a little bit of the red. I'm going to use my spatula, okay? If you don't have a spatula, don't worry. You could just use, tell you what works really well, credit card or a store card, you know, like an old card like that. But you want something with a flat edge, okay? Now, when it comes, it's always going to settle back down. Can you see? So I'm just going to give it a nice mix up so that it's very, this sounds ridiculous. It's very paste-like, Derek, okay? So you're going to make it, can you see? So you're going to take it here. I'm just going to take a little bit and I'm going to pop it in. Now, I'm just spreading a little bit like when you saw me do with that fabric coat. Can you see? I'm just spreading it out. Now, it's always better to put more on and then you can take it off when you don't want it, right? So can you see I'm getting into all those little nooks and crannies. Once I'm into there, you can easily, can you see, scrape that back off. So, and it's actually quite enjoyable. I love working with stencils. I really do love it. But we've never had the sort of products to enable you to do that with your fabrics. So can you see just how easy this was? Just taking it in there. Again, a little bit more. Now, while they're on, essentially buy two, get two free. If you wanted to stock up on these, if you're looking at this thinking, wow, this is something I'm going to use a lot of, you're more than welcome to do that. They're not limited to one per customer. Now, in the great scheme of things, I've used a tiny, tiny little bit of this glitter paste here. However, it's nice to give you that kind of feel. Now, if you ever lay multiple colours over top of each other, by the way, what you'll find is the whichever one goes on the top is the colour that you're going to see. So I'm going to start now and mix a few of those colours, Derek, just popping a little bit of red into there, but just giving it a little bit of a hint to start with. Can you see? All right, so just a little bit. Now, that's just on the stencil and it looks pretty awesome, doesn't it?
It looks brilliant.
Wait till I start mixing the colours, Derek. Right, I think I'm happy with how much red I've got in there.
Do you want a good idea for
the
these pastes, Sarah? Do you want a really, really good idea?
Oh, go on then.
Pamela on YouTube, I knew you'd love this. She says the glitter paste is amazing for covering ordinary spectacle cases. I used it months ago for an experiment and it's still as good as the day I did it and quite unique.
Wow. Oh, have you got a picture? Oh, you need to send us a picture.
Yeah, Pamela.
That would be even better.
Yeah, drop us in a picture, Pamela. It's studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk.
Right. Let's have a little look. I'm going to get this one. So can you see I've used less of the copper in the past than I have of the red. So there we go. So just smoothing back out really easily. Now be careful not to go over too much of where you've got the red, because where you go over, it will leave copper instead. And what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to have that lovely ombre effect. This is one of those really fun crafts, Derek.
How cool is that?
I bet you're watching thinking, oh, I wish I could have a go. I wish I wasn't at the other side of the studio.
Yes, yeah. And I'm thinking, oh, actually, yeah, you could have showed me before the show how to do, or told me what to do, and then I could have done that bit.
Well, all of you paper crafters watching as well, you know.
Yeah.
If you've got loads of stencils at home, you could be using all of your regular stencils to do your fabric crafting with this paste. And like you said, you don't have to. I mean, there's loads of glitter paste available to use within paper crafting, but there isn't within fabric crafting. That's why we're focused. We focused on the fabric demo because it's so unique. Yes, absolutely, you could just use it on your paper, but there's loads of paste out there you can do that with. If you don't have any though, what a brilliant way to get into that type of craft.
Well, also when you go to the clothing stores, what's the cheapest chips option that's always available? It's even here in our supermarkets, like a 5-pack of plain white t-shirt.
Yes, absolutely.
Is cheap as chips, isn't it? And then you can jazz them up to whatever you want them to be. I mean, I think that's awesome, isn't it? I mean, that's another little business potential on the side as well,
Straight
isn't
out
it?
there, absolutely. And I just think personalisation is
Yeah.
just key to anything these
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And also glitter. Don't know about you, but I love glitter
Yeah.
in all of my projects. I'm
Yeah.
definitely one of those glittery crafters.
Yeah.
Now look at that. I mean, I've used a tiny amount of product really in the great scheme of things. And if we lift this off, ready?
Here comes the magic.
Because we used that stick and spray to hold it in place.
Oh my word.
It hasn't moved at all. Now that you're going to give it a bit of a rub over with
Yeah.
a cloth, right? Don't wait. You know, you don't want to get it all over everything. But what you're going to do is you're going to leave this to dry. So I want you to leave it a good couple of hours. Make sure it's nice and dry and set. I've got one here that I've left to dry, right? And then once it is dry, it's actually quite permanent, pliable, right? Yeah. And I mean, I was ironing this just before the show. So watch, if you want to iron it, I want you to see how permanent it becomes, just like you would any other fabric with a bit of glitter on there. Mm-hmm. Just give it a good iron, even with some steam. I can just give it a steam iron and it will not move at all. I mean, look, that is what I did in a demonstration on one of these Softer Side live shows.
Oh, I love it.
Weeks ago.
That's
it's absolutely perfect.
So, Sarah, when it's dried, I need to do something to heat set it first, and then it will be...
Yes. So you're going to just put that little bit of heat-proof paper, greaseproof paper over the top, give it an iron over, that then sets it, and then once it's set, you can absolutely do all of this. Now, do you want me to do another one now, Derek, or do you want me to crack on with my next demonstration, see if we fit on with another one? Do you want me to see if I can squeeze another one in before the end of the show?
I want to see everything, but yeah, let's. I think we best move on, hadn't we? I wish we had a longer show, don't you? That's so cool. There's so many things you want to do with that as well, isn't it? It's brilliant. The glitter paste. Grab it quickly. Now 40% of that stock has gone. £15.98, $19.90. Remember, basically you just pay for two of these. You get the other two free. So you get the rustic copper and the blue azurite, which is absolutely true sapphire blue, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? You also get the ruby red and the emerald green together. So basically you're just getting half price, well, just half price there. So you buy two and you get the other two for free. £15.98. Or $19.90. Now just think of the different applications for that. And listen, it's not just for, yes, it is a fabric paste, but as well, think about how you can get fabric and your fabric paste into your crafting as well, into your multimedia projects. So you'll have a fabric in the background. In fact, somebody asked a really, really interesting question, which I will pose to Sarah as well in just a moment, about Mary says, I use a lot of fabric in my journals. Now, what adhesive is the best for adhering fabric to cardstock?
Fabric to cardstock. Do you know, the fabric coat would work an absolute treat. Believe it or not, you could use the fabric coat. Now, I haven't got any, I could do a little project. Can I do this, Derek? Is this all right?
Yeah, of course you can.
Right, look what I've got. In my little bag of things I was going to show you, right? I've got in here, this is a project our Lizzie's been working on actually, and I've picked up to do a bit with. This is a tissue. Okay, so this is just an old napkin.
Okay.
And all I'm going to do is take a little bit of that rose napkin, right? And I'm going to, I don't know if the spatula will be better, or maybe it's one of our brushes. I think a brush might be a little bit easier with this, right? And watch here. Let's put some on the back.
Oh, now you've just given me an idea there as well.
All you're going to do, it's like, treat it like an adhesive, right? So pop that on, pop this piece on, and then plenty of it to kind of seal it in. So it's going to seal it in and make it permanent, but then also, of course, it's going to make it waterproof, isn't it?
You could do that with your rice papers as well, because I know you paper crafters have big collections of rice paper packs as well, and you know all the techniques you can use to rough up the edges and everything else. But Fabricoat over the top of that suddenly then moves into your decor world, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
As well, making your own ornaments and
look at that. So
things
it's
for
really,
the tree
really.
and...
So I use it for that.
Yes.
I also use it. I tell you what, it's an awesome project. You see this that I was in the middle of working with, right? So this is just quite an inexpensive little basket from the store, and I found we had some nice fabric with some lovely little roses in. So if you want to stick the rose onto the basket, right? Again, all you're going to do is you're going to take the fabric cord and you're just going to put loads of it on here, right? So I'm going to dollop a load on there to start with to stick that to. And then can you see I'm going over it with the fabric coat and getting it into all those little nooks and crannies. And so I've used the fabric coat to adhere this on, but then also to settle it in place. So look
Do you
at
know
that.
as well, that feels better than gluing from the inside, which would be your natural instinct, wouldn't it? Because then you'll get the lumpy or bumpy bits, but actually just going over the top,
Going over
you
the top of the
cannot
fabric coat.
miss going
Perfect.
into all of the nooks and crannies.
Looks like it's weaved in.
Looks
and
like
then
it's
how
always
easy
been
was
there.
that?
Yeah.
How easy was that to do? So a couple of extra little bits there that you can be doing with your fabric coat. All your home decor projects, it is perfect to do that sort of thing with.
Awesome. Sarah, we need to get back on track now.
Right, okay, sorry, I've
you've
ventured
wandered
off track. but it
Wandered
was
off
worth it
down
for that
Sarah
fabric coat.
Street. But there's so many different things you could, I mean, literally, we could, in the space of 2 hours, you could take just one tub of fabric coat and we could do 1,000 things with it. Absolutely could. It's so versatile. Please make sure that you get that because it is buy one, get one free, remember, which means, of course, that if you double up, if you buy 2, you get 2 free. If you buy 3, you get 3 free, and so on, so on, so on. It's not limited to one per customer. So absolutely fill your boots with that one because it's so useful. You use it again and again and again and again. Everyone talking about fabric coat and absolutely loving it. How are we stock-wise with the fabric? Are we okay? We're okay at the moment, but don't take that for granted because that will not be the case, I'm sure, forever and ever and ever. There are so many people loving the glitter paste as well. People, I think, who are diving in for the first time and buying something like a glitter paste. They might never have thought about it before, but it's so good, isn't it? The glitter paste, yes, it can be washed as well. I looked up the details. So basically, if you can wash the fabric, you can wash it with the glitter paste on. So as long as you put it onto a fabric that is washable, then absolutely, yes, you can. Michelle on YouTube, she says, Derek, how do you like walking the softer side of life? Well, truth be told, I have done elsewhere, like it was probably a few years ago now, but I absolutely love talking about fabric, and it's not something it's not something I actually do anything with so far, but that's what I said about card making when I came in here, so which worries me slightly, because I might end up with a sewing machine under my arm by the end of the day, but let's see. Now, let me show you a tool that I know an awful lot about, actually, because I've seen products like this around and about, and I think they are genius. In fact, what I will do, and I said we wouldn't, Johnny, but I'm going to anyway, I'm going to get this out of its packet because actually at the moment it just looks like a shiny cellophane packet, doesn't it? So let's get this open and get in because this is absolutely brilliant. And listen, I'll only be able to tell you the bare bones of this and Sarah will fill in the gaps because this piece of wonder is incredible and you have to really see it like that, almost like I'm behind a bank teller's desk. Because you can see that there are lines going right the way across this. It's incredible. But can you see, I don't know whether you can see. I've
got mine if you want, Derek. I can show everybody on the...
That's probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Because these are so genius, because this is not just a ruler. It is, I mean, it does like 101 different things at the same time. There are grooves all the way down it at 1/2 inch intervals, which, Sarah, is very useful because...
Well, if you're wanting to do any of your strips, if you're wanting to cut any of your quilt pieces, this is absolutely ideal, right? So, can you see, it's very flexible. It's going to sit on your work surface. Now, when I'm doing these sewing shows, Derek,
yep.
I put out the big A1 cutting mat that we've got to kind of cover the surface.
Yep.
And this is brilliant now to be able to work on all of that. So, for example, I've got here just a half yard of fabric, 1/2 metre. This could be what you're getting free, by the way, if you're spending £20 or $20 today. And let me just show you how you do it if you are wanting to cut this into strips, okay? So I'm right-handed, so I like to cut mine. I'm going to try and move this down so that you can see it here, all right? So if I just line this up with the edge, make sure, here's my 0 edge, I just need to make sure that this is lined up. Let's have a look down here. I'm lining this up with the edge of my fabric, right? And my 0 edge comes right off the end of the fabric. Now, can you see you've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same on the bottom, okay? I'm going to use my big rotary cutter and I'm just going to put it in the groove there for the 0, hold this in place, and it will just enable me to cut away all that edge, right? Then if we want, say, 2.5 inch strips, we'll come along to 2.5, rotary cutter sits in the channel, right?
So you're going to have the quilt police on, Sarah.
Pull it cutting towards me.
Yes.
I know, but I've got to do it how the camera can see.
I know.
So bear in mind, if I start at the bottom, you wouldn't be able to see because I'm off the camera.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm putting this here. I would normally cut on the front for you. So what I would do is, let's have a look. I can start on the bottom here. So I can start at the bottom. You would cut as you was pushing towards you, okay? So that was 5, so 7.5 is this one here. So if you want to start, you can start within the channel if you want, or you can start right at the bottom and work your way up.
The great thing is, if you're working across the whole width of the fabric as well, is those grooves at the bottom allow you a starting point, so your baseline can be right at the bottom of the ruler. Do you know, can I just say just 2 things, Sarah, quickly about this? First of all, the market-leading brands of this type of tool, because there are other tools out there. You know, we're not blind to that either. The other market alternatives here are a stiff ruler which will not move at all. And actually, that little bit of flexibility does help you to move it around. It's easier to store. It's lighter. Some of those other ones are one big solid piece. It's like a big old tank. You're like, where am I going to put it this time? You know, it's quite difficult to store it and everything else. This is very, very simple because it doesn't just deal in straight lines either, because it gives you that guidance for when you need to go at the most popular angles you do in working with fabric as well, which is really, really important. I have to say, some tools that do this similar kind of thing, in my personal opinion, they're a little bit style over substance. So they don't need to be inexpensive things. Most of the machines, or most of the tools like this, I have to be careful because I don't want to say any names or denigrate anyone. But you're usually looking at an investment of £60 plus in the UK. So for us to have, well, our usual price, as you can see there, is a very worthy $49.99 in the UK. We've got that today on a special offer for you, £37.49 or $44.96. If you are cutting your bindings, I mean, it's absolutely perfect for that, isn't it? Are you going to do it?
I'm going to do some I was going to show you, you know how you were talking about the angle, Derek?
Yes.
See, I can put this, I'm lining this up now on the 60 degree. Let's have a look. I do need to get both of these pieces perfectly lined up, okay? So I'm going to get these lined up on the 60 degree line there. Just making sure I'm off this first edge here. So now if I want to do these at every, let's have a look, I'm going to just cut this. There we go, the 0. Oh, hang on, no, I just need to make sure I'm right. Here we go. Right, I'm going to pop this so that this edge is right off. There we go. And then get this on my 60 degree line. So there's what I'm doing, Derek, is I'm right off the edge here and I'm on this 60 degree line perfectly, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come at 0 and then 2.5. So I'm sticking with the 2.5, but what I'm doing now is cutting my 2.5 diamonds because we're obviously on that 60 degree line. So look how easy it is for you to cut even diamonds on here. And there's all my diamonds cut perfectly. Oh, missed that one at the bottom. There's all my diamonds ready. So if you're doing a pattern with your diamonds in, absolutely no problem. And then let me show you, last of all, you've said about your binding, okay? So I've got just a square here, folded it on the bias, okay? Now this is a little bit long for me to cut. I mean, I probably could. Yeah, I probably could get away with that on the edge here, right? So watch what you're going to do. You're going to, again, take this to the edge. And then if I want to cut my binding strips at 2.5 inches, I'm just going to literally start there. I'm going to cut my edge, 2.5. And then look how easy this was to do all of my binding strips in literally what? Seconds?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that you're not having to move the ruler every time.
No, and bear in mind the size of some of the projects that strips are very, very useful in, like binding. If you're binding your way around a 90-inch square quilt, that's a lot of binding you're going to need. So the less joins there are in that, the happier the creation of that will be. And if you're doing something like a Bargello quilt, I mean, strips strips are your friend?
I actually have the last time I featured this product on Crafters TV, Derek,
Yeah.
I made a Bargello quilt.
Did you?
And we've got, yep, I did. I mean, when I say quilt, it was more of a Bargello tiny miniature quilt as a play mat for my niece. Yeah, and I gave it to my niece. I told you I've been doing loads of projects for my niece.
Awesome.
So I made it, there it is. I mean, it's
look
a
at that.
relatively decent sized play mat. And I cut all of those and showed you how to do a Bargello quilt. And then you can see our little Gracie loves it. That's my little niece Grace.
And was that one of your, is that one of your first like sort of big full on right quilting projects? Or
It was my first one that I've actually finished off as a quilt. So I do lots of quilt. I love to do the squares and the blocks, but I do them as table runners or as cushion covers. I've never made something. That was the first time I'd made something into a full-on quilt. I did that, and I also did a little alphabet mini quilt as well while we were right at the start of lockdown. So I did quite a few little sewing projects.
Let's see that picture again. Come on, let's show it off.
Show them again.
Let's show it off.
Go on, it does look lovely, doesn't it? And this one, so this is on the front cover of one of our magazines. I always thought, my word, how would you even start on something like that? But actually, once I followed the instructions, it was so easy to do. And it's used, now that is the same fabric that you get free in your little charm pack, Derek.
I thought I'd recognised it.
It's the same fabric, but we had it on the bolts as well. So if you're wanting to do stuff like that, you can see how it looks with the little piece on it. And it's nice. It was about a metre square, I think.
I have to say, that's very impressive, isn't it?
Nice?
Very impressive.
I've got one last thing I want to show you with my Shape Creator.
Yeah.
You can use it to cut circles.
What?
Yep.
How?
You can use it to cut circles. So I know you're thinking, how on earth do I cut a circle from this, right? You can do a 1, a 2, a 3 or a 4-inch circle. And all you do is on each one of the corners, so here's the 4-inch, can you see it's got the shaping for the 4-inch circle. And the bottom one down here is the shaping for the 3-inch circle. So if you want a 4-inch circle, all you do is you take a piece of fabric and you fold it into quarters, right? You put that underneath so that where the 4 quarters meet, you're going to line that up exactly into that corner. You want your tiny little mini rotary cutter, and then you're just going to cut that on the curve right around like that, and you can see we've now got...
Oh, Sarah, that was too easy, wasn't it?
Too easy, wasn't it? I mean, now that would make a perfect centre. If I give that a little bit of a press, that'll be a perfect centre for my Dresden that I'm going to make next, Derek.
And I bet, no matter how much experience, Sarah, you've had with a rotary cutter, I bet if you and I both had just a rotary cutter and our eye to try and cut a circle that neat, even if it was drawn out in pen, to try and cut that kind of perfect circle with a rotary cutter, nigh on impossible. Nigh on impossible. It would look ridiculous. Well, you'd know the difference straight away. Let's talk about rotary cutters then, shall we? Because we've got one extreme to the other, actually, in size. So we've got the mini rotary cutter that we just saw Sarah using to cut out that 4-inch circle, which is this one here, £9.99. Bearing in mind that this cup... Hang on a minute. Right, so... This rotary cutter comes with not only one blade, but it comes with another spare as well. Normally when you buy a tool, it's like, okay, it comes with the blade that it needs, and then when you need more, you can buy more. This has another one in it already, which is brilliant. So 28 millimeters is probably about the smallest rotary cutter you will find on the market, actually, and it's better for those more sort of more detailed. On the other end of the scale, I've probably got one of the biggest rotary cutters you've ever seen. It feels like an industrial one, this one, but I tell you why this is really, really good. In fact, I'm going to get it out of the packaging if I can. Sorry, I'm diving into all the packaging today. Can't help myself. In fact, let me open the box. Come on, Derek, you can open a box. There's no polystyrene in there. You don't need to be scared. Just go in. Here it comes. Here it comes. Right, okay. Here's why having a 60 millimeter rotary cutter is a good thing. Now, you might look at the blade and you might think, oh, it's far too big for me. I'd run a mile from that. But you know what? You're so far away from the blade, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? This is so beautifully ergonomically designed, and you don't see the blade at all until you actually, this will have a little safety button on it. Yeah, little safety catch, until you actually engage the handle underneath it. So it's been beautifully ergonomically designed, so it won't release the blade anywhere near the fabric until you actually engage it. Now, the bigger the handle, and then you can lock it as well, which I think is really, really good, and that's very, very secure. But the reason why that's so good is because it has been designed with you in mind. So actually, it's minimum output, no, minimum input for maximum output. That's why having a bigger one. If you're doing bigger quilt projects, no way does this come with another blade as well. It does. So this one comes with another blade as well. For less than £20. Seriously, and I'm not an actor, so I don't do the, oh gosh, look at the price. I don't do that, but I know that any half decent rotary cutter, even the 45mm ones, they're usually standard prices of around about, in the UK, is around about 30 plus, and you can pay any amount you like for a rotary cutter. They all do basically the same thing. This one though, you usually come back to buy another spare. You don't need to here because it's got the one that's in there and it's got another one as well. I'll tell you what, that's not bad for £19.99. Up that order in the UK by a penny, you get a free half metre of fabric as well. Just saying, it's well worth doing it. Listen, we all like a bargain, we all like something for nothing, don't we? Completely and utterly. It's brilliant. What a deal that is. I think that's phenomenal. And I think anyone that sews should, or works with fabric in any way, even if you don't yet have a sewing machine, that's definitely worthy of getting. That's amazing. That's really, really good. Right, listen, sew through September means that any order today in the show, in fact through the whole of September actually, every single day we're going to have a different giveaway. If you spend more than £20 or $20, we'll have something to give away, and our giveaway today is a free half metre of fabric. There's so many offers in this show, honestly, it's like they just come falling from the sky like pennies from heaven. It's brilliant. Let's look at your patchwork dies as well. These are your multimedia dies for your Gemini, of course, but they're multimedia dies, which means that you can use your regular dies to cut through fabric, and it will cut through, you know, 1 or 2 layers of cotton fabric brilliantly, no problem at all. Your multimedia dies, they'll go through 6, 7, 8 layers of fabric in one go. So let's start with your jewel die as well, and this is such a versatile shape to use in patchwork and in quilting. And I think sometimes when people say quilting, you think, oh no, quilting, that means like something that has to go over the whole bed. No. You saw that the quilt, the Bargello that Sarah made, it was just a little kind of lap quilt, really, a little play quilt for a little one. It can be something like a little lap quilt project. It can be a table runner. It can be a coaster. It can be whatever you want to. So $39.99 for that one. Remember, these multimedia dies, they're on a buy one, get one free as well, which is brilliant. I mean, like $39.99 or $39.95, and I can have another one to the same value for nothing. It's like, I'd still struggle to get my head around things like that. Then we've got the elongated hexagon. Hexagons, as I say, in patchwork and quilting, they are one of the most used shapes because, of course, they tessellate so beautifully together. You've got varying sizes in there as well, so you can go, you know, you can go up and down, you can go round and round. You can't go wrong with the hexagon. Just have, you know, have one big one in the middle and have however many it is. How many sizes does a hexagon have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. So that one's $39.99 in the UK, $39.95 in the US. Let's move on to the clamshell. This is beautiful. I love the shape that this makes. Always reminds me of like the back of an armadillo. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're really, but that back of the armadillo, I've seen there's a fabric somewhere, I think, that has little pandas on it, which repeat in this same kind of fashion. So you could actually always draw little animal faces into the arcs that these make as well. They are absolutely brilliant, and they make for some delightful combinations. I mean, look at that. It's a really, really different combination, but imagine that in blues. If you got the blue fabric selection earlier, you could ombre that and make waves in the sea. Have to be quick on that one. Very, very, very popular. $39.99 or $39.95. Then we have orange peel. Orange peel's brilliant. Again, it makes that classic kind of sort of really, really ornate kind of tiling combinations, I always think, with this shape. It's just beautiful. So you can make very, very classic but very, very modern designs with it as well. $24.99 or $32.95. Next one is your tumbler, and it's so, so clever because as soon as you hear the name, you see the shape straight away, don't you? But actually what it makes when you can configure it into a quilt almost ends up looking like an empty cotton reel type of thing. It's really, really good. I love that. $24.99 or $43.95 on that one. And then you have the apple core. I love the names they give to some of these. They have the most wonderful names. So there is the apple core one. Lots of different sizes, you can see. And it makes a beautiful quilt as well. Remember, all of those multimedia dies plus the Dresden one, which Sarah has half-inched to show you a demonstration on. There it is. They're all on a buy one, get one free, Sarah, which is, for me, it's barking. It's brilliant. I love it.
Well, we just thought instead of us choosing what the bundle had to be for you, we'd make it so that you can literally pick your 2 favourites and you get one free. So whichever one's the cheapest of the 2, you will get that one for free. Now I've picked, we can't demonstrate them all, I've picked the Dresden because it is the only one I would say that needs some explanation and some hints and tips. All the others, it's fairly straightforward. You cut your shape out and you stitch them together. That's the idea with patchworks. But with the Dresden, there's quite a few hints and tips. So I'm going to go through those as we make this. For anyone who doesn't know, this is what a Dresden makes. And actually, I mean, I didn't know. I heard talk about these Dresden quilts and the Dresden pattern, and I had no idea that it was this overall shape until I had been quilting for quite some time, doing quite a bit of it. It's this lovely point that you get on the top. Okay, so you get the Dresden shape. You can either use it as the whole shape like this, which goes nice in the centre of a quilt or on the cushion cover like what we've done here, or you could use it, if I show you this lovely quilt that we've got here, all right, can you see how it's lots of little Dresdens that have been done within a little centrepiece? Or you don't have to do it as a full Dresden. You could just do, can you see, some patchwork pieces with it. I think that looks lovely, Derek, around the edge of a square like that, just to do like a smaller quilt, but always with those lovely Dresden pieces. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do, okay? Here we go. Let's lose all these little quilts out of here.
I love this shape. I
Now,
just think it's brilliant.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like to be cutting it out by hand, that's for sure.
No way.
So you get 5 different sizes of the Dresden. I'm just going to do the largest one just so that you can see it nice and easily, okay? And I've already been doing a lot of my cutting, so I've just got some scraps here that I'm cutting. I want to show you. Let's have a little look. If I cut that right close to the edge, can you see I'm going to get 2 of these out of here? Oh, yes, I am, right? So it means you can work it so that you waste less of your fabric, essentially. Now, if you are doing that, just be very mindful. I say I'm trying to do 2 awesome things at once here, Derek. I'm trying to do a lot of cutting at one time, but then I'm also trying to be really tight with my use. Sparing is a better word, yes, with my use of fabrics. So maybe don't try and do both at once. You're just going to be either sparing or you're going to cut lots of layers. So sparing of fabric or sparing of time.
Yeah.
Generally, when I'm on these shows, I'm sparing of time. At home, let me tell you, I'm being very sparing of the fabric. So it's nice to kind of show you both ways. Now that is cutting through there, Derek, a whole 8 layers of fabric. So it's going to give me 8, and you need, as you said, you generally do them in kind of like groups of 5 colours.
Yeah.
But just to show you here, that has cut through all those 8 layers, absolutely no problem at all. And I'm going to pop this on here now. Look at that. Yes, so we waste not, want not, using up all them little scraps of fabric as we go through. Not scraps, but we have no scrap really with this. And then I'm going to send that through and cut another one.
There's no waste in the fabric world, because remember, all of your bits and pieces, like the edges, when Sarah's finished being economical over there, the bits that are left over, they go in a scrap bag and they become stuffing for a toy.
Yes.
Or something that you make, a project that you make, they become wonderful stuffing. So they're brilliant. Take advantage of that.
Good point. So, right, that'd be why we've got a nice fabric bin down here then, Derek.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a little look. So, I've cut 8 of those, absolutely no problem. I'm thinking I'll show you the blue because it might be easier for you to see. But I'll do a green. I do quite like this green. I hardly dare mention it, but the fabrics that have sold out, right?
Yeah, every one of them.
Do you want me to show you how you do the point, right? What we're going to do is we're going to fold this over edge to edge. Just give that a little bit of a finger press, okay? And then I'm going to stitch down the edge here with my 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm just going to go right down the edge there. There we go, straight down. Right. So you've got that with your 1/4 of an edge. Then watch what we're going to do, you see. And I'll bring in my ironing board because it's going to be easier for you to see on the ironing board.
I'm just going to answer a quick question while you're doing that. Somebody asked about the size of the shaping board. And it, in terms of what you can cut, it is 16 inches across by 12 north. But remember, of course, in each of the 4 corners, it's actually bigger than that anyway in its actual size. But of course, remember, you can cut a 1, 2, 3 or a 4-inch circle in the corners, which I just think is the most genius thing. Absolutely genius thing to be able to do just like that by folding a piece of fabric.
I could tell in your voice you were wondering where on earth I was going with
I was like, well, how can you? Like, I'd looked at the tool before we came on air and I was like, I
Circle.
missed that trick.
Circle. How's she doing a circle?
Brilliant. Love it.
Right. So can you see I've just folded that out there, right? Now I trimmed the little edge, and then when you turn it inside out, you see, now it's going to be perfect. So you do it, I always iron it flat one way and then turn it inside out and iron it flat the other way. So that gives me that perfect edge. Should we do another one in the blue and then I can stitch the two together?
Yeah.
Right.
We've just got time.
Here we go. If we take the blue ones.
Where's this show gone today, Sarah?
Oh, it's always the case with this show. Let's have a look.
Not long enough, is it?
Here we go. Right. I'm going to get these. They're all the same. So we're just folding it in half here, right? And then I'm going to go 1/2 inch seam allowance down the edge there, Derek. And I think I'm just going to go off the edge too. There we go. Not 1/2 inch, sorry, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now, in that corner, just cutting off that corner, I'll just cut off the excess threads as well, so that when, oh yeah, the blue's much easier for you to see on the camera. All right, so we fold that into a point. We're just going to iron that point nice and flat, and then open out that seam and iron the seam out nice and flat, okay? So I'm just going to iron all of this out nice and flat. Here we go. Right. And then turn it inside out.
Anne was just asking on Facebook, she was like, how do you get the pointed bit when the die is straight at the top? Well, now we know.
Oh, that's how you do it.
Now we know.
Right.
That's the magic of the fabric world. You start with things and you think, how's that going to turn out? And then what happens is that there's a reversal that happens at the end where the magic happens. It happens with bag making.
Yep.
Happens with making clothes. It happens with quilts when you're doing quilt sandwiches. It's amazing. I look at it in complete awe and I think, oh, she's definitely doing this right. And then suddenly there's a quick turnaround and it's like, oh, there it is. There it is.
We go.
That's
there we
where
go.
were going.
Right. So the important bit is, can you see that bit that I've just done there, Derek?
Yeah.
Is that you get these two here lined up. Okay. Doesn't matter so much about the middle, but these two here. And I've just put an extra little clip and I'm going to take it over to the machine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, so bear in mind I'm working to that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm going to start part of the way in and then go and give it a little bit of a back stitch. Right? Just go nice and slow and then back on. Oh, there we go. Because I don't want, there we go. What I don't want to do is when we turn these and iron them, I can't afford for that bit to be coming out at the side, okay?
Yeah.
So all the way down here. So right off the edge. And then if I open these out, I get a little bit obsessive about me pressing. Can you see there? You've got those. This is where we just gave it that little bit of extra work. I'm not going to open the seams out. I'm just going to press them flat. I'm going to put one more of them onto there, Derek, so that you can see. So let's have a little look. I
so love how this comes together.
One.
And how many different sizes were there in that one, Sarah? Because you've got the die there for that.
5 different sizes.
So if I wanted to, I could start with one big outer one and sort of make my way in.
And line them all up. You absolutely could. Would look fabulous, wouldn't
That sounds fun. It's quite, I can tell from where I'm looking, because obviously we're on different sides of the studio here, but I can see the satisfaction that you get when you nail it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. This is totally one of those ones. And I mean, I don't know about you, but like I said, when I started quilting, this was one of those fancy quilts that I'd heard of, but I would never know where to start with it.
Yeah, it's
Whereas
the name.
having the die, it's
the
like
name.
an iconic name, isn't it, in the quilting world?
Yeah, and
having that die makes life so much easier.
There are some, and you know this, Sarah, now only too well. The more you get into the language of quilting, I guess, and patchwork and whatever, the names they give to some of these blocks, like the drunken this and the vicar's that and whatever, and they sound terrifying, don't they? Because you think, well, that must be so advanced if it's got a name like that, like, you know, the bishop's left collar or whatever. You know, they give them some weird and wonderful names that you just think, I'll never be able to do that. And the word Dresden. Yeah. You know, it's wonderful and it says it just beautifully, but it's quite an intimidating word.
It is, isn't it? I definitely agree with that. I was definitely very intimidated. So if you're feeling the same and you're feeling intimidated, just know that once you've got the die set, it is no longer intimidating. And of course, this could be your freebie.
Yes,
Chances are, Derek, you're not going to be paying for the dressing one because this is the cheaper of the two, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would be going for this and the apple core. I love the
Yeah.
apple core one. I think it always looks really advanced, especially for somebody who maybe doesn't sew. You would have no idea how to do all of that. I wouldn't even know where to start.
No.
Right, so what I've done is, Derek, I'd already stitched some of them together. This is what I mean when I say for every hour that we're on here, there's a couple of hours of kind of prep work that has to go into it. So what you do is you do the quarters together. Don't keep going around in a circle. You do a quarter and then you do another, so you do 5 pieces and then you're going to stitch the 2 5s together. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stitch the 2 halves. So you see I stitch the quarters. And I'm always lining up the important bit, which is those 2 points there. So I want you to get those 2 points stitched together. And then I'm going to do, not right across the middle, I'm going to do 1 point and then the next point.
Oh, by the way, just while Sarah's finishing this off, if I can speak, I'm picking a winner.
Oh, do you want to see what you're winning? I'll show you again.
Picking a winner.
Derek's picking a winner for the lovely lunchbox that we made right at the beginning. So if you've been commenting all the way through, we're going to pick a winner for this one, right? Right, go on. You can talk now, Derek. I've shown everybody.
Okay, right, yes. I'm deciding. I'm going through all of the comments and I'm just going to do a random stop. Oh, there. So, Crafting with Cats, Tammy Porter on YouTube. It is you. You are our winner, and we're going to send you that lovely lunch bag as well. Well done. Congratulations, you. All you need to do is, if you will very, very kindly just drop us an email to prizes@crafterscompanion.com and just let us know that you've won the lunch bag. So Crafting with Cats, Tammy Porter is your name on YouTube. I love
the YouTube names.
I love them. I think they're brilliant. The usernames that you have on YouTube, I just think are genius. Absolutely genius.
Let's have a little look. So there we go. I've stitched those 2 together. And then once you've got your Dresden done, I mean, that is literally the whole thing stitched together. You see, what you then do is you're going to use the circle cutter, or you could use our shape creator. You're going to cut yourself a circle out. You're going to lie that over the top. So can you see, I've got one here. I've put a little bit of, heat and bond on.
Yeah.
Lie that on your cushion, pop that over. And if I show you the finished one, now this is not one of mine, this is one I took inspiration from. But just with that over the front, doesn't it look fabulous?
Does that circle cut that middle part of the Dresden away then?
You could, you could if you wanted. You could always take the circle and you could cut the middle. I mean, I just stick another one over the top.
Because I'm just thinking, there's another little mini project in that, isn't there?
Yeah, you could absolutely do
that. Little skirt for something. Little plant skirt.
Oh, yes.
That would be quite cool, wouldn't it?
That would be fabulous, with your little dress.
Actually, is this the shape that actually people like to make on a bigger scale as well as Christmas tree skirts?
Christmas tree skirts.
You know where you get the metal legs and whatever, and it's not very attractive. Actually, people make a Christmas tree skirt in a very, very similar way to that. So that might sort of tie in very, very nicely because it's open, isn't it? Until you stitch it together, it's open, isn't it?
Good idea. Good point. You could do as many as you wanted.
I tell you what a creative show this has been.
I can feel the brain power across the other side of the studio here. Well, look at that. I think we managed to get everything done that I said I wanted to do. We did the Dresden. We did, we did my little banner. Remember, we did my little banner. What I didn't get a chance to do is I was going to fabric coat over my little banner. So if you wanted to, if this was going to go up outside, what you could be doing, bear in mind, is taking that lovely fabric coat, don't even know where I've put my pot, here it is, taking your fabric coat, and you could just be putting a little bit and smoothing it over the top of there. If you wanted to make any of these, I'll get this moved out your way. If you wanted to make any of these waterproof. So even though we've done our plique on there, doing a little bit of that fabric coat over top, and bear in mind, you're going to go through loads of this stuff. So the fact that it's on a buy one, get one free, and I'm just going to take, I'm being a bit cheeky now, Derek. I'm just going to take my, my mat. I've put my mat somewhere and show you how we would just do it. If there was a brand new, this was your little piece, this was my piece of fabric, and I wanted to fabric coat my fabric, all you're going to do is take a little bit of it out. All right, seeing as I didn't get a chance to do my whole project with it. And can you see, just smooth it over the top. For anyone who missed, go back and watch us right at the very, very beginning, because this is how I showed you how to use that fabric coat. It's like buttering your toast, okay? And you're going to put a thin layer of it on, Derek. So you're going to get that a thin layer. You're going to leave it to dry for about half an hour. Don't try and force dry it any faster or whatever, just have a little bit of patience, okay? I cut all of my panel pieces out. So if I'm doing a project like I was doing that picnic bag, I do all of the cutting out first, get it ready, put it on, take off the excess, leave that to dry, and then you're going to do that. So you're going to leave that there and then come back another half an hour and put another coat on. Once that's all dry, that has then become oilcloth. Which are perfect.
It's absolutely, it's amazing, and there are full instructions on the actual pot as well. Now these are buy one get one free, so I would say stock up right now, because if you buy 2 you get 2 free, if you buy 4 you get 4 free, and so it goes on and on and on. There isn't a limit 1 per customer. There's a limit in terms of the stock that we have available right now. So grab it now while you can. $14.99 is the price of 1. You get 2 for the price of 1. So grab that as quickly as you possibly can. Don't forget, of course, if your sewing order goes over £20 or $20, which easy peasy today, easy peasy, you get so many goodies for that as well. Remember, as part of Sew Through September, and we're doing a different giveaway every day on that, by the way, if you spend more than £20 or $20 in the sewing category on our website, which means shop in the show or anywhere else on the sewing category. But today our giveaway is a free ½ metre of fabric, which you'll be fabricating, I know, straight away. That's what you'll be doing. Just to answer a quick question as well from somebody earlier, yes, you can fabricate over the glitter paste. So you heat seal the glitter paste and then you can fabricate over that as well. Why not? Add a bit more sparkle to your life. Brilliant. Sarah, thank you so much. We're back later, aren't we?
In about an hour. So you've got time to go and grab yourself, in my case, a quick bite of lunch. And I'll be back here in an hour's time with a brand new launch, exclusively available here at Crafters TV. Plus, I'm going to be having a little bit demo with them fabulous butterfly alphabets.
Oh, it's going to be really, really exciting. Yeah, my head was still in our old times then. So when I was thinking later, normally it's like 3 hours later, isn't it? You've got time to go and grab a bit of lunch now, or do whatever you need to do. Take the dog out for a walk or have a quick bite to eat. I'll see you back here with Sarah in less than an hour right now for our launch party. You have to be there because there are so many goodies. See you there.